when you're younger, pretty much coach knows best. That's just almost 100% true.
And I think that's how it should be. I think that's important. You trust your coach, and he has enough experience that he can give you the best advice, kind of thing. And I think that's with everyone in general. I think that you think you know everything, but you don't. And I think that's why, as a junior, and as a senior, you kind of work together. It's all about working together with your coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, as you get older, you're going to have a bit more input on what you're doing, on what routines you're doing, what skills you're going to try and push for future, because obviously they know gymnastics as a whole very, very well, but you're the person that will know your own body better than anyone else. So it's that collaboration that ends up making everything sort of easier, because yes, they can see how well you're performing a certain skill, but they won't know if you're in pain, or they won't know if you're like less flexible than you once were, maybe like if you've come back from an injury. There are so many different variables that only you know about. So that collaboration needs to happen, but mostly only when you're getting a bit older, because the generic base for a routine is built as a junior or as a really young gymnast.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I've made mistakes in the past where I thought I knew too much, or I knew what was best. And I think that as you get older, you realize that you need to make your decisions, informed decisions. And I think that's why even at 20, 21, 22, I think that I worked very closely with Josh and Eunice to come up with the best program for me, but also trying to listen. I think listening is very important, and watch other boys. I'm very fortunate now. I live with James Hall, and he's able to mentor me and give him his experience. And I've really benefited since going home, having those experiences from him.
The thing is, when we're talking about coaching styles, it's very individual to the coach, but it's also like, we're not trying to say one is better than the other, or one is worse, or whatever else.
Of course. What I would say is I've tried to take the best bits from all the coaches I've had in my entire career, and I've had a few, and I've applied that to my gymnastics. And I think that's how maybe I've been able to maintain through the last 4 years at uni and to where I am now, kind of thing. And I think there's value to be taken from people's strengths and their weaknesses, because you can know what works for you. And over the years, I've learned that through working with Josh, working with Sergey, Eunice, and my previous coach, Ovi. Like, there's a lot of things that I've taken and I try to apply to how I learn now.
Yeah. And like, with regards to different coaches and different things like that, like, their coaching style might not work for you as an individual, mostly as an adult, because that's when things are going to start clashing most of the time. As a young gymnast, as a junior, like, anything pretty much goes. And any good coach will be able to coach any young gymnast.
Yeah.
Pretty much, unless they just have no work ethic. That's just another kind of worms.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older, it's okay to have a bit of a problem with some of the things that your coach does, or a different coach does, or anything like that. It's okay for that to sort of happen. It's not discrediting them as a person or them as a coach, because a lot of the coaches I know, a lot of the coaches that I've seen in the GB squad, they're amazing coaches, but maybe they wouldn't work as well for me as Luke does.
Yeah.
Because they just have the different coaching styles, and that's not a detriment to them. It's just how well they meld with you as an individual. It's like with anyone. Like, if you spend some time with one person compared to another person, you will like one person more than the other, even if it's not conscious.
Yeah, of course.
And that's just because of their different traits and your different traits and how well they meld.
I think that when you get to a senior gymnast, I'd say around 21, 22, and I still think I'm young, but from what I've learned is that when it comes to my career, it's in my control. Everything I do is based on how I react and how I prepare for things. And your coach is there to support you in your journey. So being able to take the best bits and make the best informed decision you can is important. I don't think you should rely 100% on everything your coach says. You need to be able to do what you think is best for your career. And I think that in life, it's the same thing. You need to do what's best and make the best decision you can at that current time.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking at the pros and cons of every situation.
Exactly.
Looking at what am I gaining, what am I losing if I do go through this. And literally that can be with any part of your gymnastics, any part of your life, in all honesty.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling great and you want to do something, what am I gaining, what am I losing? Will I feel worse if I do it? Will doing this in this one instance make me better at it forever? Maybe it's better to leave it, maybe it's better to push it, but you got to make that decision based on the information you're provided with.
Yeah, 100% I agree. 100%.
Yeah.